our first experience in Zoom anyway, so please be patient or not, or impatient, but like the show is starting.
And maybe the last thing I would say is the music, you have to imagine like an ensemble, chamber music, and I do it alone and you listen to the skeleton of the music.
Exactly, Peter, exactly, golden words. The musical, you must imagine this music multiplied by 100 voices, the harp, and 500 different other instruments. And I was present at the rehearsal when Peter was recording the music. It was humbling. I could not even believe it was all due to the text that I had written. It was indeed, well, I was in awe of all that. And well, whether you feel this awe right now, I do not have any idea of, but let us at least have a little tingle of, of pleasure.
So we go.
Tumbleweed, the Viper of Literacy.
Tumbleweed, 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 tumbleweed,
I wish Mother had never taught me my ABCs, but she did. And at once, the Viper of Literacy ran up my spine A to Z, digging its teeth mortal grip into my brain apple white matter. Chained to books 24/7 age 5, I was a junkie supine in the opium den. My blood was diluted with Mother Goose milk. My entrails contracted with Dr. Seuss castor oil puns. I was Gulliver nailed to the ground. I lost my first baby tooth in the prairies of Texas, taming a Mustang, an enemy scalp tied to my cinch back. A chicken leg stuck in my mouth like cannibal's loot. I bore with Mother's litany of semolina on odd days, alternating with buckwheat on even, because Robinson Crusoe's diet wasn't that versatile either. At 13, wet teenage dreams made me soil between Robert Frost's plowshares. By the collar, Papa Hemingway dragged me to the savannah. Off with kids' junk, he said. We'll shoot sparrow-horned kudu and lions. Hormones rage. I threw myself under Anna Karenina's train. With Raskolnikov, I murdered the old moneylender. One sultry midday in a South Cairo hotel, under a fan in the airless bed, a Hungarian count's paramour drank blood from a cut on my hand. School curriculum whizzed past without scraping my brain. My schoolmates thought me a moron. Still, I lost virginity earlier than them. My blue eyes and blonde dreadlocks, a passport to the pale heart and limp thighs of an inconspicuous girl. Vials rattling in the utility room adjacent to the chemistry classroom. How can you live A real life, silly boy, crippled like this. Mother served me pancakes with sweet black tea and raspberry jam. I craved coffee, but there was never any at home. Tut, tut, sweetheart, you won't make a doctor. Your scalpel will blunder all the time. You'll treat heart attack with gobstoppers. Engineer, your bridge will collapse. Computer man, you'll corrupt any bank's database. Yes, you could sit your ass off in a bookshop, letting dust powder your dreadlocks and fade the blue of your eyes. Yes, you could make a non-entity master of arts and even write a PhD on one of your crazy writers, but you'd live on the dole anyway. I may know many a bum who does. I can think of only one suitable job: teach school. Children will strip the folly from you in no time. You lick the blood of power. God in front of the class. When half of the earth goes bust in a nuclear toadstool, the other half rots in greenhouse stench. Economies crash, all fickle jobs turn useless like peanut shells. Those who survive will have nothing else to do but copulate for oblivion. And condoms used up like everything else, children will pop up like mushrooms. A teacher is timeless, immortal, albeit constipated now and then on safe bread with butter and roquefort.
Children will pop up like mushrooms. A teacher is timeless and mortal, fate constipated now and then. And safe shore bread with butter and roquefort.
As if by the wave of a wand, I found my application form filled out by mother's brisk hand. She was a job center consultant. Teacher training faculty, subjects, French, Russian, English. I didn't look at the paper while winding my lazy squiggle around the signature line. I was lost in the finale maze of London Fields. I couldn't turn my eyes away from Enola Gay in a white tank top picot dress. Vladimir Nabokov lifted a sardonic eyebrow. Walt Whitman plucked a stray hair from his smooth, shiny chest. Chapter 2, The Classroom God. 10 semesters, 1,000 credits, state exam, didactic probation, a period of practice. The veteran of pedagogy, Ms. Schwartz, sits in on my class, her Cerberus presence freezing the ruffians to stillness. Nothing will happen to me as long as she sits. However, she tears me and my lesson structure apart. We don't need a universally read freaky pseudo-professor. Teacher's toolkit is steel logic, discipline, consequence. If you have to teach, do it, but the talent cards fortune dealt you are raffle. When your dreadlocks fall from your head, your sensual lips wear thin, frazzled by gross classroom puns. Hands get calloused and peely with chalk. In a decade, you'll reach mediocrity status. J.M. Cutsy gave a nod of poignant approval. Roddy Doyle cast an amused look from his glasses. Comprehensive number 113. Classes 6, 7, 8 riffraff roach trash that experienced teachers hand down to the neophyte. 25 hours a week, paid vacation staff conference. Despicable crap for coffee at the canteen. Adele sat at the rear desk, alone in her black turtleneck. Her future beauty in good camouflage of oily skin shine, 3 layers of pimples in different stages of ripeness, fake brown mane in a long ponytail, a squinting hazelnut stare, crab apples for tits. She caught every syllable of my feeble bleating through the bombshell din of ill-tuned vocal cords, through the barrage of spitballs thrown at the blackboard. She winced at every insult the ruffians yelled out at me, as if it hit her own solar plexus.
Love doesn't wear any makeup. Her teenage heart is on her sleeve. How can I fail to see that she's pretty? Clever, witty, foxy, standing, stand you teacher free.
No, no, Vladimir Nabokov said, memento Lolita. Tut, tut, added John Maxwell Cutsey, remember disgrace. Veteran of pedagogy Miss Schwartz, enraged, who the hell teaches class 8, The Wizard of Oz or Mio My Mio? No wonder your pupils piss out the windows. What a fiendish choice of authors. What old-fashioned book tastes. Normal teens read Hunger Games or at least Harry Potter. I'll show you the choice of authors, Miss Schwartz. You'll go weak in the knees. I wear my dreadlocks open today. Torn jeans. My lesson plan goes into minutest details. William Barrows, girls and boys, naked, lunch. Ever done heroin? Ever taken part in an orgy? Vermilion carpet in the principal's office. Misogyny, propaganda of sodomy, massacre, decapitation role play, assault of moral values, orthography rape, abuse of didactics, pedagogy raked and spiked, damage to school property, 10,000 euros, sanitation team, fire brigade, paramedics, torn designer clothes, 5 broken glasses. Adele landed in the hedges unscathed. She only tore her stockings. The parents will not sue if you agree to immediate dismissal. Abandon teaching anywhere in the precincts of Eurasia. If you must teach, go to Somalia or Rwanda. Wow, you really go, Miss Schwartz whispered in the teacher's lounge. I loved naked lunch in my 20s. Utility room riddle liberal, the keys on my ring. But I had already left the school premises, my heart outpacing my feet. I'll never come back. Enough jumping at mother's word. To hell with you, mother. I'll shed the skin of an employee. I'll live a life of liberty. I'll be a Lebenskünstler, life artist. But how shall I start? I lay down to sleep on a bed freshly made by indignant mother. pillowcase and duvet bespangled with dandelions. There and then, Honoré de Balzac sat down at my head, tucked in my blanket, and whispered in his pre-Colgate breath, brushing my cheek with his beard, "Coffee! Make up for the heinous crap at the school canteen. Coffee!" Chapter 3, Balzac's Barista. I bought an old bike cart from my doll. Honoré de Balzac whispered to me detailed instructions on how to refurbish it into a movable feast of a coffee shop. So strange to see my hands do all this crafting, my white puffy hands, not used to holding anything but book covers, turning pages. I sewed, tacked and varnished. I carved little drawers for sugar and cocoa powder, walnut wood, solar-powered battery pack, a cold sink for ice, folding table, gas burners, a speaker system for music, and a white-green striped parasol to keep the sun or rain off. Curiously, I watched my fingernails get dirty, palms calloused. I remember the sweat of school shame stank like cat's piss. But the sweat of physical toil smells redolent, musk and nutmeg. I wiped and licked off its beads trickling down my temples. Now, my doll was all spent, but the beans still had to be bought. Honoré would insist, for some reason, on fair trade. And only the best beans, cher ami, seulement les grains de café meilleurs. Mother skipped her annual trip to a spa. Angrily, she transferred to my account the worth of her unconsumed peat pulp baths and jet hydro massage to summon onto my porch these soft, rattling parcels. Yemen, Costa Rica, Uganda. Arabica beans, tiny brown vulvas. Hard, tightly sealed, impossible to tear through. This sly smiles a winner's life. You can't fuck me, not this time. Charcoal dead doppio, Great Gatsby. Full city ristretto, holy go lightly. Macchiato, Blanche Dubois. Light brown latte, Scarlett O'Hara. Honoré didn't insist on my calling all drinks in his honor. I did have plain coffee gob sec and cappuccino a courtesan's life. That's it. He wasn't even jealous of the frappé Madame Bovary. Mikhail Bulgakov paid me a sudden visit instead of an array in sleep. I'm not yet blind, but I don't see a coffee you named country doctor or heart of a dog. Besides, you have abandoned reading the Master and Margarita in all your vanity hassle. I had indeed. The deadline is August the 3rd, he decreed. And if you haven't finished by then, and if you haven't amended your menu list, there will be bitter revenge. I promised him solemnly to do as he ordered, and even read a bit until the customers and girl admirers rendered me dizzy. Besides, I had no idea what new drink to invent. I was the hub of the city park. Around my coffee bike, marathons ran, Waltzes whirled, protest marches farted along, protesters forgetting what it was they were so much against, continuing their marches happily at a snail pace in my queue. The girls in the park were all mine. I lost count of love bites. My condom supplies ran out before I could run to the drugstore. Coffee god, beanie king, they murmured under my striped parasol. Breathy baby, I'd croon, I'm only Balzac's barista. One May noon, a frisson of sun, brown mane shock, apple breasts, not crab anymore, lilac turtleneck, delicious hazel squint in olive eye shade, clear face with only one little pimple, Adele, 2 years older. Little girl, I teased, are you even allowed to drink coffee? I'm 2 days short of 16, Mr. Teacher Man, and I order espresso Tropic of Cancer. She'd come again and again to try out every single item on the menu, a book a week. She even ordered Dorian Gray, worth tenfold of all other cups, the most expensive beans in the world, dragged through the bowels of a civet cat, culled from cat shit by Sumatran farmers. The mayor awarded me a medal for enhancing love of literature among the city population. The district library boasted the greatest increase of readers since 1973. All the books lent were the names of my coffees. Mother showed the medal off to the neighbors, wore it herself when going to the butchers and bakers. For some reason, Honoré wouldn't come to see me anymore. Busy writing or womanizing, I thought, unperturbed. Mad summer, heat wave, the coffee smacked of my musk and nutmeg. 3rd of August, 30 degrees at 7 a.m. A fat, taciturn mule of a woman, Federica, starts her day hauling a barrel of Tuscan olive oil to her pizza place on the other side of the crossroad. Halfway, she raises her palm to whisk a strand of damp hair blocking her sight, and the barrel slips out of her grip. Manager! Tumbling on the tram tracks right side up, half of the contents spills on the rails. The sun roasts the oil in a greasy gold hue for which Van Gogh would have cut off his second ear. At 8, 32 degrees, I too wheel out my bike for another day of coffee, God, beanie king. I know nothing of Federica and her Tuscan oil. I step on the rails, molten light from the east, and my flimsy flip-flops turn to skates. I land on my bum. Bump! Ouch! What the fuck? Ankle sprain. I see streetcar named Disaster approach. I manage to crawl to safe distance seconds before the horn thing screeches with all its brakes, but Disaster wheels, razor sharp, vivisect the rimed sole of the bike. Walnut wood, solar battery pack, cold sink for ice, folding table, gas burners, speaker system for music, spondee, dactyl, anapes, jack-knifed, blanked out, flung high. Pontius Pilate, the tram driver, holds the remains of the white-green striped parasol above me to keep the sunstroke away. Greetings from Mikhail Bulgakov, he whispers, unearthing my ear from the dreadlock mess. I didn't know mother could curse like a sailor while feeding me fat, beady chicken broth from the spoon. Those coffee beans, those tiny brown cans, hard, tightly sealed, yet fucked all through. I couldn't read a page for months, and none of the dead writer devils showed up. I only dreamed of my park coffee girls in endless succession. We were all illiterate in pre-ABC paradise. Basta. This has been probably 1/3 of it. And just imagine, instead of my feeble bleating, there are plenty of beautiful voices.
How can you live a real life, silly boy, crippled like this? Mother served me pancakes